is happening, Magnus sites?
I have not seen honest game trailers in a while. We're gonna have to check this out for Resident Evil Village, or Part 8, whatever you want to call it. Let's get it. The one with the tall booby lady.
When the horrors of reality have got you down, a long-beloved series will return once again to bring you the zombie shooting you crave, as well as a new direction for the biohazard games. A 9-foot vampire mummy for the internet to get irrationally horny over. Beams. Resident Evil 8-inch. Return to the tragic story of Ethan Winters, a man so stupid that he's impervious to pain. Pushed to his absolute limit when the wife he spent the entire last game trying to save is lit up like a Christmas tree in the opening 5 minutes. His giant baby is stolen and dumped in a comically shabby European village filled with campy traditional monsters. Because of science, of course. And forced to fight for his life while they all take turns doing various body horrors to his hands until he gathers the military arsenal of a small country and blows them all into tiny pieces. In another Resident Evil game that reveals the inherent tension between making a scary game and giving you a rocket launcher. Meet the wide variety of evils infesting this tiny Transylvanian hamlet, starting with the elephant-sized lady in the room, who Capcom hit a fetish bingo with by making a giant mean goth with an insane dumper. Then capitalized on the internet's fierce desire to be stepped on by her by making her seem like the main antagonist when she's basically just the first boss. Instead, you'll spend the rest of the game capping werewolves, undead, gargoyles, and the Borg, fighting decidedly less sexy big bads.
They remind me
Most
of.
people anyway. And of course, mowing down livestock like you're having a troubled childhood. Also, if you didn't know the hot vampire lady was going to turn into a hulking monstrosity at some point, you've literally never played a Resident Evil.
Yeah. It surprised me, but like I was like, oh yeah, this
where
is
the ammo
Resident Evil.
conservation of the early games has long been replaced by a system where you were constantly unloading full clips to drop regular enemies, picking up ammo everywhere like you're playing Doom, and piecing it together out of scraps like a hobo MacGyver. To keep up with the shuffling hordes of enemies, the game likes to have pop out of nowhere, as you miss 4 out of 5 bullets because everything sways around like they're in theater dance troupe. Not that it's actually very hard or anything, because even on standard difficulty, Ethan has the endurance of the juggernaut.
Yes, he does.
The ability to plot weapons with his wrists, and the plot armor to withstand an insane amount of stabs to the chest, all of which is surprisingly explained by the story at some point.
Yes.
Which is not the same thing as making sense, a thing that Resident Evil has literally never done. And no, I'm not talking about eating delicious pork dishes that seems to make you more impervious to shivs. That makes total sense. Here it is. Please, join me. Experience the simple trick of Village, where Capcom pulls out its highest caliber set dressing, characters, and graphics to disguise the fact that you're basically walking down a hallway for most of the game, occasionally being set free in an area to solve a couple of simple puzzles at your own pace, backtrack to grab some hidden stuff, use the new crank you got on all the big spots labeled crank that you passed earlier.
That's right.
And play one of those little rollerball games for some reason. All to fill this enigmatic fancy voice offers, so he'll make your gun shoot 2% better. Then watch as the game explains basically everything else, except for this guy and what his entire deal is. What are you buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say. Lazy plot hole, mystery for a later game, or new Street Fighter skin. This is Capcom we're talking about, so there's like absolutely no way to know. So lock and load with the remnants of your hand, and cover your body in healing goo. For a competent shooter with a fun and unique setting.
I always forget, I'm like, oh yeah.
Pretty good horror as long as you
Capcom
can
makes
it's
Street
not
Fighter
actually
too.
very scary. Except for the part of the mansion. No spoilers, just spoilers. And by spoilers, I mean that I shot myself.
That's where he was going.
Starring Holy Jolie, Animate Mom Hair, HGH Chris Redfield, Glue, Manic BUGSY Nightmare Girls, Tommy Bust, Child's Play, Blinky, Keanu Reeves as Magneto. And Dahlia Gillespie, Resident Evil, Monster Bash. You know, having mercenaries back is great and all, but when is Capcom bringing back tofu? Think of how delicious the hand-biting scene would be. Beefy. Have you already finished reseducing every character in Mass Effect Legend?
It really bothered me that he never got his fingers back. Like, when they would put them back on, and you know what I mean? Like, the thing swallowed him. God, man. In the first one, like, there was a part where, like, I think, Paul, whatever his name was, could cut your leg off, but you could still put it back on. So I was hoping that was going to happen. Poor Ethan. He's not a good character to me. He's not. I much rather the others that I've played with in 1, 2, and 3. Right? Anyway,
Good job, as usual. Make sure you get over to Fandom Games and subscribe. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you.
$10 subscribe.